This is Spare Parts, your show for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Stephen Cleary, Sean Cavarella, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Just gonna wait for Taylor to stop dancing.
Why? I thought we were dancing to the intro.
I mean, you can.
This is the whole point.
It's intro music that you can't hear, but I mean, sure, go ahead.
Exactly.
But I can imagine it in my head.
You don't even know the beat of it.
Imagination.
Yes, I do.
I would ask you to do it, but I don't want you to embarrass yourself, so I'll just go along with the lie.
Okay, do you know how many times I listen to the podcast? I know our intro music.
Okay, I don't, so I couldn't tell you it. But I edit the damn thing.
I know, I was going to say, don't you edit it? Shouldn't you know?
In theory, yes, but at the same time, no. Anyway, welcome to Spare Parts. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Taylor.
And this week, we have quite a bit to talk about. We have Spanish Grand Prix. We have some Ferrari tiers, so gonna be fun for you, Taylor. We have a new copying controversy. And George is better than Lewis, right? That's what we can all agree with? Okay.
Yes.
And then we got IndyCar this week and Indy 500 qualifying, which saw historic speeds. No other way to really say that. It was historic.
It was surprising to say the least.
I mean, who was not? The number was.
Yes.
But, yeah, so I guess we'll talk about Spain first. So, Taylor, let's start with you, because I'm sure you're in Spain without the S.
I don't want to talk about it.
No?
You know what? Here's the thing. So, I'm watching the Spanish Grand Prix, and, like, people are texting me. Paige is texting me. Her mother is, like, a huge Ferrari fan, and she's, like, you know, telling me, get your Ferrari gear on. And I was like, no, every single time that I get my Ferrari gear on, Charles, something happens.
Wait, is this an actual thing?
Yes.
Oh my
the
God.
last time that I wore my Ferrari gear, Charles bended. Okay, so the curse is lifted on my Ferrari gear because I did not wear a single red thing. And, yeah, he lost power. Technically, it wasn't his fault. It just sucked. He was on course to have such a good race. Yeah. So Ferrari pulled a Ferrari, and lots of pain. I mean, Carlos still had a decent result. We can't say that, like,
he should have been second.
He should have, correct.
Actually, no, he should have won. Because he should have been there when Leclerc failed. He should have been next. But no, he fucked up. And Max also screwed up and then had DRS problems. So yeah, Leclerc should have won that race. Sainz should have won that race.
Yeah, and Verstappen had multiple problems. Okay, it was a boring race, right? It was boring, but like most of the time.
Tale of two races. The first half was very non-Spain. The back half was very Spain.
It was typical Spain.
Yeah, it turned into much of a snooze fest, especially when it was 2v1 for the Red Bulls.
So. Just gonna go out there and say Max didn't deserve that win of the race.
I agree.
No,
that is one of the most undeserved wins of all time in F1.
Kyle Busch is fuming somewhere because someone has backed into another win.
Oh no, he wasn't backed into that win. He was handed that win on a silver plate.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Like
after like a whole race of having issues with his car.
Yeah. He made a mistake went off. He had an issue where his DRS wouldn't open. He struggled to get by George.
Mm-hmm.
And then Perez, whose car was fine and had the pace, was told, oh yeah, see this sword? Please fall on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, fuck Red Bull. I'm just going to say that. No. Let freaking Checo win. Leclerc was out. You've had the full point. You're going to get the 1-2. Maybe let the number 2 guy get it. And don't just continually suck off the Flying Dutchman.
I agree, but from a strategy standpoint, if you're trying to maximize points, this gets you the maximum amount of points for your driver while also getting your maximum amount of points.
But you have
for
2 drivers. It's not just about the one.
Yeah.
Stop.
It's not.
I
agree with
Checo voices unhappiness.
Yeah, I wish he'd have been backbone to tell him to fuck off and just drive.
Yes. I can understand why they did it. It's the max. You're trying to get max separation and maximize what you can do. I mean, so Max is currently 6 points up on. Yeah, exactly. So let's put it this way: if this championship comes down to 5 points or less, Red Bull did the right thing.
If it comes down to 5 points or less, I don't know how Mercedes made that ground up, but good for them.
Yeah.
Okay, why is Ferrari not being taken into account anymore? Are you just assuming they're going to bin the rest of the season?
They've binned the last 3 races. They had a dominating lead, and they have shot themselves in the foot. So, yeah, I don't expect them to be there. And Mercedes had some pace.
They did. Yep. Well, it's obvious that whatever upgrades that they brought worked for them. Okay, I told myself I wasn't gonna do this week.
Oh, here it comes.
Can we talk about lap 6? Hamilton's comment to the engineer.
I think Hamilton had a fantastic drive.
He did.
Oh.
He really did. He
had
a great race.
I would agree. I would say he had a fantastic drive. I think what I would be less annoyed about is if he didn't full on tell his team in lap 6 of the race, out of a 66 lap race, I think we should just save this engine because he was in 19th and he didn't think that there was any chance. And I'm like, my dude, if the engineers are telling you that you've got a chance, you've got a chance. They have sensors all over this car. They can tell you whether or not you've got the pace to make it up the field.
But at the
He's
same
also
time,
done it before.
But at the same time, I agree. Him wanting to just quit, basically, it is not a good look. It isn't. It's not really a good championship mentality. However, this is what the guys in the pit wall get paid the big bucks for. It's managing the prima donnas. When the guy doesn't want to race, you're like, no, you're going out there.
Yeah. And honestly, props to the Mercedes pit wall. So glad that those engineers told him, no, we're not going to follow, we're not going to do what you're saying and you're going to keep racing. It's just, I think, from the perspective of somebody who has a lot of skepticism towards Hamilton to begin with, but
that's fair.
I think, I don't know, first off, it's harder to see, I think, Hamilton be successful in a race, especially when the car isn't as great. George is pushing it, I think, George is at a better, has just had better results this season, and it's just hard to look at Hamilton the same way as he's the GOAT and stuff like that. I'm like, well,
hey, do me a favor quickly, Taylor. Hold the mic in your other hand. Like that. Now talk.
What?
Wow, that's weird.
Is it?
Yeah.
The second you change hands in the mic, it screws it up. So weird. I have no idea what, but you have to hold it like that, okay?
Okay, that's so weird. But anyway, I just thought it was one of those comments where I was like, oh my gosh, dude. Especially after he does those interviews and he's like, never give up. I'm like, well, never give up unless you're in P19, right?
Which, okay, to be fair, that entire incident, I think, is also Hamilton's fault because you're racing too hard against guys who have a superior grip advantage.
He's the only one who started on mediums.
And maybe he could have had a really good race if that strategy had paid out. But,
yeah,
he got kind of screwed over and punches the back and still made a good recovery.
Correct. So. I still think he had a great drive. We can't take that away from him. Good for him for getting P6 or P5?
P5. P5. He was in line for P4, but then both Mercedes had a critical
It's
engine
cooling, right?
situation.
Maybe you should have saved the engine.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just thought it was funny. It was again one of those Hamilton moments of just like wham wham wham. Oh, but he still ends up in the points.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
with
I ran corners over.
with the pace they were showing on Friday and Saturday, yeah, they easily could have made up the points, and they did. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. But again, when you look at how both engines were failing towards the end, and it was sort of weird because they called it told them to back off with 2 laps to go.
It could have been a heating issue. They may have just timed it just
And-
wrong.
Yep. And to be fair, George did get that warning early on in the race as well, I think. I can't remember if it was the first or second stint. He got hey, you got to cool it down a little bit.
I think it was the first stint that he radioed and was like, I'm having a car heat warning and I'm not following it. Is that right? They're like, no, yeah, that's right. The car is running hot. So
Yeah, so
maybe Hamilton had the same issue, but we just never heard the radio of it.
Yeah.
So
either way, in the end, good recovery drive. Shouldn't complain and say you're out of it. Move on.
And Russell got a podium.
Good for him. Honestly,
Continuing
I'm
to
kind of
beat
not
Hamilton.
surprised. Are we surprised though? Like, you just have to wonder. Like, Hamilton is coming off of what, like 7-8 years of being in a car that consistently wins, and George is coming from a Williams. So I think their experience in terms of being able to push a car that's like not the best on the grid to its absolute best is a bit different. Like, Hamilton doesn't necessarily have that experience as George, like in comparing with George, right? Like, he was pushing that Williams, I think, to the best that he could for the past few years. So he's just a little bit more capable of finding the good points in the car and exploiting that.
Yeah, how do you say it nicely that George is spanking Lewis this year?
He's doing a better job of maximizing performance out of a lesser car where Hamilton has had to just manage gaps. I don't know.
No,
It is
Hamilton's
true,
had to coast. He's had to coast.
That's one person says coast, one says manage gaps. Maybe it's somewhere in the middle.
He had like a crazy cushion of 20 seconds basically every race last season.
Yeah,
He's been
and no
in
competition from his teammate.
Well,
are we seeing just George being that good, or is Hamilton not being able to get a grip with the new cars?
yeah, I think it. I don't know if George is necessarily that good. I think he's just better equipped at pushing a lesser car than Hamilton is.
He's better at maximizing performance from an underperforming car. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm just looking at Bottas, Hamilton, George. We know Hamilton dominated Bottas. And now Bottas on his own is the best of the rest of the field.
Yep.
And we're seeing George easily beat Hamilton now. Again, hard to say what happened if his strategy with the mediums at the start would have paid off, but it didn't, and his recovery only got him to 5th. So I would like to say that maybe George is earning that number 1 seat at Mercedes? Is it too bold to put a bet on George to win the championship now?
I'd say a little bit. He's currently, what?
What's he in the points?
He's 36 points back.
I mean,
It's not impossible.
2 races ago, Verstappen was that many points back, wasn't he?
Yep. Well, and if Mercedes has finally figured out all their issues and they can keep this up the rest of the way, sure, you could say that.
Well,
but you can't say anything until next week after Monaco. That was the rule we said.
I know. I'm just saying. I
Nobody
also
should
enjoy George's chances at Monaco.
I like Charles' chances at Monaco.
I do not.
I don't. You see,
So-
didn't we go over this last week?
What's his chance? A chance of putting it in the wall? That I like. Ooh, where's
Or
the
having
bet on
mechanical
safety
failure?
car? Yeah, that's a given.
Listen.
Safety
Hold
car
on.
and him not to finish.
No,
Yeah,
listen to my theory.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a theory. So, because he's already been to car at Monaco this year, maybe the curse is lifted for the
He-
actual race.
No, because he binned one last year and didn't get to take part in the race.
No, but he already been the loudest car.
So we're gonna sacrifice Lauda to the racing gods.
Yep.
So Leclerc could finally have his home win.
Yeah, Leclerc's odds of Monaco being plus 100 is kind of ridiculous, I'll be honest.
Yep. Just bet on him not to finish right now. Okay, cool.
I may do the same. Safety car period. That is a minus 700 for a yes, so that's guaranteed. Especially with Leclerc driving. But anyway, I was gonna say, I do like George next week because they had very strong third sector times at Spain, which is usually the slow, twisty bits, which is good predictor of Monaco. So, and because George will obviously beat Lewis, give it to George, as long as the wheel doesn't stick again.
We'll see.
Lee.
But yeah, anything else out of the top teams, or do you want to go through the rest of the grid?
Just hats off to Checo for how he handled himself. I would have been much more pissed off.
Should Ferrari be more pissed off at Sainz?
Maybe a little bit, but
I feel like it was probably talked about, but I don't think I don't know. They just don't really seem to have a pattern of getting really mad at their drivers when they've completely messed up.
I
But
mean,
who
you
knows?
can't go off in Monaco at least, so he's got that going for
not that we know of.
him. Puts it into the harbor. The joke
Yeah.
made every single year.
Oh my gosh. No faith in the Ferraris.
Yeet.
The Ferraris haven't given me faith since Schumacher left, okay?
You know what? I'm not about this.
I'm sorry, Kimi was last year, but ever since then, it's been downhill. What?
Okay, anyway, rest of the grid.
P6, Bottas continuing his, track record of being best of the rest on the grid.
The Bottas Redemption Tour.
Also,
Yeah.
kind of looking like a safe bet for a top 6 finish almost every week.
You know what? Bottas had a really good week. He raised a lot of money for charity this week too. So good for him.
Oh yeah.
With that Bottas.
There you
Oh
go.
yeah.
He's
With
really
the
leaning
solid-
into that, isn't he?
He is. Did you see see the comment that Hamilton said he was going to buy one?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he said a reporter asked him if he was going to buy a print. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I mean it goes to charity, of course. I'll buy a print."
Nice.
He was laughing. That was good.
It is interesting to see, Hamilton, I feel, only has a good relationship with Bottas now on the grid.
That's because he avoids everybody else.
And,
This is only friend.
honestly, it's true.
This is only
I've said
friend.
for a while, he has no friends in the grid, but I feel like him and
He
Bottas
doesn't.
is the only one.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Because
but
he's
I
not a
think
threat.
now, yeah, because now Bottas is not in on the same team as him, not driving the same car. He doesn't feel probably
But
as
they're still
right.
fighting on track, which is kind of funny. For
Yeah.
usually the same positions. Whoops.
Toto, get him out of the way. We can't tell him what to do anymore.
But yeah, Bottas is single-handedly, I feel, carrying Alfa Romeo.
Yes,
Lando Norris
100%.
hasn't been
Yeah.
doing much. So
Yeah, I don't think any of us expected that, considering most of us had Alpha in the bottom half of the standings.
Yeah, this was not expected whatsoever.
No. Esteban Ocon had a pretty decent race. Finished 7th.
Yep.
A lot of the midfield, I kind of feel like, oh yeah, they finished there. Didn't really see, I feel like, a whole lot of them.
yeah, and after the first little bit, everybody just sort of settled in.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it turned into a boring Spain race. Just a bit of
Yeah.
a parade, minus Hamilton cutting through the field. That was basically the only entertaining part.
It really was. It was honestly not that good of a race.
Yeah.
So you have Norris
Never
8th,
is.
Alonso
Even-
9th.
I was gonna say Norris was fighting something, so I'd say half decent.
Yeah,
race.
yeah,
Yeah, he had was it?
tonsillitis.
That's the one. I want to say meningitis, but that was not right at all.
No.
Yes,
Very
tonsillitis. Yes.
I'm not sure he would have been able to race with meningitis.
I don't have that attitude.
Fair enough.
People have raced with worse. I think.
Mm.
I don't know, maybe. And then Yuki was the last point scorer, and then just missing the points was Vettel in the new
here we go.
green Red Bull.
Oh,
Yeah. Let's talk about it. I don't want to
Brings-
talk about it. I hate it too, but you know.
Yeah.
this is the stupidest
tough.
thing ever.
You bring all these upgrades and you look like that. Both cars out in Q1. Oh my god.
Oh, I'm talking about the copying controversy that
Yeah.
may not be a controversy.
It's not a controversy at all. It's not. They're not similar.
Yeah, they base I'm going to believe the Aston Martin excuse that they went two different paths on their development. And you could also argue that they have done that because they haven't touched that car since it came out of testing.
Yeah.
And there is record of Vettel back in testing saying, oh, well, what we have in the wind tunnel right now looks nothing like our car right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I do not doubt that they went that different philosophy with the similar-esque Red Bull side pods. And then when you see a team like Red Bull succeeding with those side pods, yeah, you may just be like, huh, yeah, we were on the right path with that.
Yeah.
Let's go back down that path.
Yeah.
And then you designed your chassis so you could fit both. If you didn't design your chassis originally to do that, you couldn't have done it. And let's not even forget, teams copied their stupid double T tray at the start of the season. Ferrari even admitted, like, oh yeah, we saw that, we copied it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when is copying and stealing the same thing versus, oh, I like that idea, I'm going to take it?
It's a copycat series. Like,
It is. And
what
any
happens
type
when
of
you have
prototype
such
series
open-
is.
yeah, that's what happens when you have open regulations. You don't hear about this in IndyCar because that's a spec series.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, like,
Or used to hear about it, I guess, more in NASCAR, but that's got more spec too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, the whole thing was stupid. Horner was being petty again, as per usual.
the green Red Bulls though
that was a nice
was
touch.
funny.
Give that intern a raise because I can guarantee none of the older fucks thought of that one.
That's
It's
funny.
just like it's okay. It is funny. It's just like, my dude, you are so petty beyond belief.
the person
Just
who
to
had,
prove a point.
the person with the hottest comments were Helmut Marko though. He was like, "Oh yeah, we had a data hack or something like that." Obviously,
Oh,
old man that
stop.
doesn't know about technology is like, "Yes, there was a data transfer, and we think stuff was." What the fuck? Did they take
Helmut,
it on
you
a
sent-
floppy disk?
No, you sent Helmut. You sent an email. Calm down.
No, it was Toto that sent the email.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think if it was Helmet, it would have been like a telegram.
Yeah,
Probably.
Not
Carrier
the,
pigeon.
Not the new carrier pigeon. Smoke signal?
The carrier pigeon was struck down by one of the drones.
The drone cam. Is that what we're going for next?
Sure. I mean, if we're done with the green Red Bull, sure.
I don't see it as a controversy. I think what's more embarrassing isn't the fact that it's similar, it's the fact that they sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the embarrassing part.
Yeah.
We fixed everything on. We brought a brand new car, and we're getting the same results.
And we're
Fuck.
out in Q1. Fucking great.
We're actually going backwards somehow.
It's so bad. It's so sad to watch, you know?
Yeah.
And every single time that there's Aston Martin news and you guys like chime in on the group chat, you're like, is there hope? I'm like, no.
I just
there's
want
no
Vettel to
hope."
do well, okay? My
Yeah.
hope
I
is for
know.
Vettel.
I know, but still, there's no hope until we have proof that there is like a sliver of improvement.
And we will not forget that until, I don't know, 2023?
Probably.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Drone cam.
Hate it.
It was bad.
Get rid of it.
It was bad.
Yeah. The shots were so out of frame, and I get it's not easy, but it was bad. Maybe don't have them follow through the chicane where you have to make a bunch of little adjustments on the drone. Have them follow down the straight like you would in a helicopter.
Yep. Yeah, having it
so
to
hard?
like dictate into the corners and stuff. That's a stupid.
Yep.
Yeah.
What if you want to do the drone? Have the drone fly in a straight line, and have the things move underneath the drone.
Yeah.
Like I think at Silverstone through Maggots and Beckett's, if you're having the drone follow them through that at a steady clip and watching the cars navigate that section, I think that could be a wonderful shot.
It's a great idea to try and get some different shots, but the execution was just leaves a lot to be desired. You know what? I won't go full blow up. It just leaves a lot to be desired. The shots through the chicane were brutal.
Even NASCAR fans hate their drone. Stop going with the drone.
Yeah.
Just do like a fucking like trackside shots. Go low. Don't go high. Go low.
Yep. Or hey, NASCAR, you want to be like the NFL? Put it on a wire.
Yeah, exactly. Do something that's not that. Not a fan.
I agree.
It's a little harder to do it in a wire, but you know.
Yeah, that's fair. Taylor, I see you have a Mosport shirt on. Were you there this weekend?
I was not, but it was a disaster.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, it was a disaster. I heard a lot of different stories. Like, Peter was working it this weekend, or last weekend, and he was helping people with broken arms. The track was just trashed. It was terrible.
Heard a trailer got flipped.
For
a trailer got flipped.
For context of people not from Ontario, we had a massive storm come through, and right while there was a big event going on at Mosport, and it kind of trashed the paddock. Pretty much.
Yeah, the paddock was trashed. Tractor trailer rolled over in the front gate, so people couldn't leave. People couldn't enter. It was just a nightmare. And apparently, so Peter was working as a marshal, and then his mom was actually working race medical on the weekend. And apparently, the worst part was how inexperienced the paramedics were.
Fuck.
It was actually terrible. Like, she was like saying like nobody knew how to deal with with a situation like that, and there was like one paramedic screaming at everybody, and because like the powers went out and the radios stopped working, it was just a total disaster.
That is alarming.
Yeah, thankfully nobody got seriously hurt. There was only some broken arms on the spectators, but everybody else was safe.
It's good to know that, in Canada, at least, if you go to the track and get hurt, the paramedics don't know what the fuck to do. So, don't crash.
No, in a mass casualty situation of more than one person and the radios aren't working, it's in those specific circumstances. Otherwise, normally they're okay.
Oh, it's
I don't trust them. Yeah, you're not painting a pretty picture there.
Yeah, fair enough.
And to give you some context of how screwed up it got, two of my friends just moved to Uxbridge the weekend before. They just got power back about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And it happened Saturday, and we are Tuesday. So
it's three days later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fun time this weekend. I didn't even know it happened. That was in my basement. Well, I live in a basement, so,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really crazy. I was waiting in my car because I had gotten the reservation wrong for tea on Saturday, and I was in the Jeep, and all of a sudden it got very dark and very windy. Yeah, it was kind of really, really scary.
Yeah, I think something like 10 people died because either stuff fell on them, or trees, or lightning, or power lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, things we don't have up here often,
Yep.
Anyway, speaking of fast things, see, great segue.
Good segue.
Indy 500 qualifying.
I was gonna say the bottom 8 just don't get mentioned for F1.
I have no notes on them. They all sucked.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, it's just not it's really not anything to be talked about. So Indy 500.
Yes, that was fun.
Yeah.
So,
well, they also got screwed over by weather on the Saturday.
Yeah, but I'm kind of okay with that, to be honest.
Really?
Eh.
Losing half of it? That's a little much.
It wasn't the greatest. Okay, so the first, do you want to talk about Fast Friday?
Sure.
When
Well,
they
Fast
first,
Friday.
Yes.
well, they
Go,
first
go
got
chronological.
yeah, they first got the engine boost for Friday. We saw some stupid speeds and stupid corner entry speeds. What was Connor Daly's again?
243.
Is that the one everyone got mad at because they were like, "Well, that's the highest official speed going into the corner." And it's like, well, we've only been keeping track of the speed for like 20 years.
Yeah. Well, other people have gone faster. Yes, we get it, but like official speed trap.
They didn't
Official
keep
speed
track.
trap. Yeah, we didn't have traps like this.
So people got butthurt online. Just go with it. Just say, "Yep, fastest ever recorded speed into the corner." Just go with it.
He's
Yeah.
go.
Just go
Okay,
with
cool. He went at a speed. Most people would shit themselves. Good.
Yeah. So that happened. There was a couple oh shit moments, specifically with Jimmy Johnson and Roman Grosjean, making you kind of think, well, maybe they can't kind of handle the cars at this speed. Spoiler alert for the next day, they could.
Yep.
And then that day also, did that Fast Friday get rained out as well?
Yes. Yeah, it did. Or was it the Thursday? One of the days got rained out.
I think it was the Fast Friday or something. No, Fast Friday was just windy as fuck, so no one wanted to run.
Yeah,
That was it.
Thursday
Yeah.
got rained out. It was one of the practices.
So yeah, because it was so windy, they had no idea what the hell to expect. So they went to Saturday pretty much blind.
Yeah.
Which resulted in a pretty fun, I would say, qualifying. Because you had the guys in the morning who were first out, which didn't really have to deal with a lot of wind and cooler air and track temperatures. They could go faster. Like Pato Ward and Rinus VK and Jimmy Johnson, Roman Grosjean, all these guys who went out early were able to trim the car out, run fast, and basically advance to the Sunday. The surprises came kind of later in the day when you had guys like an Ed Carpenter who kind of came along. Scott Dixon was a little later. Guys who essentially you wouldn't think to have speed at that time because a lot of guys were barely cracking, I think, the 233s.
Yeah, it was getting
232s or into like 231.
Yeah. People were having a tough time
Yeah, so
getting going.
they had some beautiful laps. The oh shit moment, I think, was that Sato?
Blocking Andretti. Yep.
Yeah. So Andretti's going out for his lap. Sato is in the middle of the track after he set his, and he was in the top 12 at the time.
Yes. Yeah,
And it was like comfortably in, and probably would have made it. But what happened was because he was in the track for some reason, when Andretti was on the track, which is a big no-no, you're supposed to go in the monoplane. Sato kind of got his lap deleted.
Yep.
So
Right call.
Yeah, totally right. Totally. So because of that, he would have to go again later in the day after everyone else ran. Unfortunately for Marco, his engine kind of cut out. That seemed to be an issue with some of the Andretti's. So not confident of them for the race, to be honest.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
If it's an electrical issue or something like that, but
Yep.
something's not right there.
Yeah.
We want them to make it over 500 miles when they can barely do 10. Fuck that.
Yeah. So, that's what happened there. Then Sato had to go out again to make it in towards later in the day. And he hit the wall. And he kept his foot in it. And he made it. Which, I don't know how. That man is crazy.
Yep.
Just, yeah. I mean, him and Jimmy did the same thing.
Yeah. Well, Jimmy hit the wall on the Friday, didn't he? He didn't hit it the Saturday. He hit the Friday.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Mix some
So,
days up.
it was interesting. And then also you have the thing with Indy qualifying where you can like give up your time to set a new time. Who was it that tried? A couple of guys did that to disastrous effect. Wasn't it Scott McLaughlin, I think, did it?
Yep. Well, Sato. So I was gonna say, just to wrap on the Sato Andretti thing, I think it was funny that Sato hopped in the fast lane, and I think he went out right in front of Andretti again.
Oh,
Oh.
well, that's awkward.
Yep, just a little bit. But yeah, McLaughlin and Castroneves were both down there after being favorites to make it. They were they're both starting on row 9, 26th and 27th. With Colton Herta was also a favorite.
Yeah, he had that engine issue where his engine cut out.
Yep. So
Yeah.
bit of a rougher time for some of the guys out there.
So at the end of this, we'll do a little prediction thing. But this led us to Sunday, where we saw some ridiculous speeds. So the format was kind of weird, where you had to qualify for the Fast 12 Sunday, run the Sunday from that 12 to get down to 6, and then that 6 would go to set the pole.
Yep.
Kind of weird.
Yeah.
Personally, I actually don't hate that kind of way they did it.
No, give the top 6 a chance to do a second run. Makes it fun.
I also think it makes it more fair, because the track conditions for those 6 to run is more close to being the similar than, say, the 33 running the day before. Like we saw where guys like Pato, Award, and Reyes VK had such an advantage being out in the morning versus midday. So you push this a little later in the day, it kind of just seems to make it just a lot more fair.
Add a row, add a round. Simple.
Yeah. So we get to the Fast 12. So the top 12 were, I guess I'll just say from the starting.
Just go from 12.
Yeah.
I was going to say go from 12 down.
Yeah. So I guess the 4th row of the Indy 500 will be Johnson, Bull Power, and Sato.
I thought I wanted Jimmy to crack that top 6, and I think he could have. But he hit, I think, Sean, you pointed this out, he hit the little
There was a little patch. Yeah. Of like,
Mm.
it was like, I think it was like the quick dry stuff you put down. There was that on the track, and he hit that going into 1 on his lap and nearly lost it.
Yep.
He went
it was
sideways.
inches.
And he had to
that led
back
to
way out of it and then just continue. So.
Yeah, but he could have done something, because he immediately went out and dropped a 2:32.9 after that.
I mean, his average was still a 2:31.2.
Yep, that's
so
only
3/10 of a mile per hour off willpower.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that incident, he could have easily been in that probably 3 to 9 range. But unfortunate for him. I think Will Power, who is kind of the really sole Penske flag runner at the moment. He's the only guy who's kind of running up front, it seems, with all the Penske cars that really had good speed. And then Sato, who, nearly got his lap deleted, made it back in, is going fast. Surprisingly, Romain Grosjean in 9th. I was surprised he even made it to this Fast 12.
Fastest rookie.
Yeah. It's a surprise, but good for him. I mean, like, obviously he's getting a handle on the cars, and I guess on ovals as well, but I was actually really surprised that he was able to do as well as he did.
His reaction to the Jimmy Johnson moment, though, was hilarious. He was like, oh, shit. So then 8th, you have Felix Rosencrist, who the first, I guess, of the McLaren SP cars. Decent, I don't think many people are counting on him to win the race, which I think is kind of sad. He could be a good dark horse. So keep that in mind. Everyone, I'll get to in a second, but everyone kind of says Marcus Ericsson's a dark horse. He's not a dark horse. Then you got 7th was Pato Award, the other McLaren. So McLaren's going to start beside each other with Grosjean. So
I was going to say the ugliest row.
Oh, it's a bad.
Because of those 2 olive cars.
They're really bad.
Yep.
5 through 3, you have Ericsson, Carpenter, VK. That's a very strong row.
You want to try those numbers again? 5 through 3.
Oh shoot, I missed Kanan. 6 through 4 is the next one. Sorry.
There you go.
Kanan, Ericsson, Carpenter. That's a strong row.
Yep.
Ed Carpenter, always fast. Ericsson. Again, everyone calls him a dark horse. He's not a dark horse.
No, I think he's a strong contender.
I very much think so. Everyone's like, oh, dark horse candidate. If everyone's saying he's a dark horse, he's not a dark horse.
Yep, it's like as in hockey or basketball. Oh, this guy's criminally underrated. Yeah, I agree. No, he's not underrated. You guys just all want to seem smart. So, shut up.
Tony Kanan,
He's good.
the slowest of that row, still doing a very good effort for limited running this year, but at 6th. Now, he could be a dark horse, because no one's really talking about him getting another one. Then your front row, VK, Palou, Dixon.
VK
Noticed 5 out of 9 are Ganassi.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's a shame none of them are going to win.
Really good.
Yeah, I said it.
Jeez. Yeah, VK back in third again.
And of the top 4 all hit over 233 averages, which is nuts.
Yeah.
So the year, what was it? The year we went down, Sean, 2016. What was the winning average? Do you remember?
229.
Hinch was I believe a 231
Okay.
or 230, and we were all. And when he hit 233, we said, "Wow, he's moving." 6 years later, Scott Dixon just comes out and drops 234, 234, and a 233.8.
Yeah, Dixon set the fastest ever pole speed for 234.046. Now, this pissed a lot of people off. Because, again, people are like, well, it's not the fastest time. It's the fastest pole speed.
Yeah.
Ari Leyendyke's record was not for pole. I think he couldn't make the pole shootout the first day, so he set it on the second day. Because Indy 500 has had so many different qualifying formats, it's impossible to keep track of. But yeah, he wasn't eligible for pole when he set his record. So the pole that year went to Scott Brayton, who was killed before he could actually race from that spot. So you can also say Scott Dixon is the fastest pole sitter to start a race.
There you go.
So as long as he doesn't die in the next 5 days. Knock on wood.
Hope he didn't watch that tape of the rain.
Yeah. But yeah, 234 is an absolute ludicrous speed.
Yeah. Well, to do it twice and then have your third time be just underneath by 0.2, that's wild. By less than 0.2, technically. So
Like,
Just
you can
insane.
say that these are the fastest Indy cars ever.
Yeah.
Because you could make the argument that back in 96, the track was newly resurfaced, therefore it wasn't the cars, it was more of the track that provided more grip. Yeah, they may have did some resealing on the track, but at the same time, you've been seeing these numbers creep up slowly over the years. So, yeah, that's a hell of a lap.
Yeah.
My pet peeve about this performance, Scott Dixon. Did you know that in Canada, Sportsnet did not show it? Like highlights of IndyCar at all?
Yep.
The fastest ever speed that IndyCar has seen in over or almost 20 years. Yeah, we're just not going to show that. We're going to show 4 old white men talking about a hockey series that is like 2 games in. Yeah, we'll show that for 5 minutes, but we can't show a minute clip of that.
Yep.
That pissed me off.
Yeah.
It's fair. Very fair.
IndyCar needs a better partner in Canada. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, shit's fast.
Right. Anyways.
Shit's fast.
Anyways, now that you've done your little rant,
Okay,
do you want to go over all our predictions? or
Yeah.
who to watch. I won't say predictions. Who to watch.
Go for the who to watch.
Yep. Okay, so we'll go in the same order as last time. So Taylor had Marcus Ericsson starting 5th.
Good dark
Ilott-
horse, I hear.
Yep. Yeah, if you're starting in the top 9, clearly.
Yeah, no.
Callum Ilott had a pretty good showing, 19th. And Alex Below, 2nd. So 2 in the top 5 for Taylor.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Again, these weren't predictions of winners, just people that you think could do well.
Yeah, and 2 of
to
my
watch.
3 did very well.
That is fair.
Sean, you then took Renus VK starting 3rd, as is tradition. I gotta see if you can bet where someone's gonna start, and I'm just gonna bet him for 3rd every single time.
Was he a third last year?
He was 3rd last year as well.
Okay.
It's forever his spot. Is outside row 1.
I mean, Ed Carpenter is always in the Fast 9 also. Just himself, not even the team, but himself.
Yep, but he's all over the place in the top 9. He can be 9th, he can be 1st, he can be 4th.
Yeah. I love the age gap of the top 9. It was like a bunch of guys in their 20s and then a bunch of guys in their 40s.
Yep. Well, you had the oldest. I think the oldest guy is TK at 47, and the youngest is VK at
23?
he's still only what 21.
No, I think he's at
Wow.
23. I got it up right here. Ah, fuck. 21.
He's 21.
Okay,
Hey.
you're right.
Thank you. Yeah, very large difference. It was a mix of vets and young guys, and I mean, like nothing shows that definition more than by having 2 rookies who are both over 30.
I mean, one of them's over 40.
Yeah. So, anyways, okay, back to the shit show.
Okay,
Speaking of, I took Jimmy, and he came 12th.
who did I have after VK again?
Sean, you then said Sage Karam, who was starting 22nd.
Ooh.
Woo woo.
A rough one. And here's the thing. So you said you were fine with the half day. It would be interesting to see how these guys would have done if they got a second run in.
That is true. Yeah.
Right? Like you go on your first one, you make one mistake. It's not Indy 500 is not supposed to be one lap, or I guess in this case 4-lap shootout or a one-shot shootout. So it would be interesting to see what these guys could have done with a second run, especially in maybe slightly more favorable conditions.
I don't know if the conditions were going to get more favorable though. Like it was
you
rough
never-
the
you
first
never know.
day. Like
Yep,
the wind
but
was
you-
such a factor.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you get strong gusts for your first run and then it's a dead wind for your second, you never know,
Fair enough.
right? You get a little cloud cover over top for half an hour. Some guys are running on a cooler track. It'd be interesting to see what happens in a second run, or you just make the drivers make some simple mistake that forces them to back out. Like imagine Jimmy gets another run
True.
on the Sunday.
Yeah.
Right? So
True.
because I think the other thing, just quickly on that, you'll notice everyone as soon as they saw that was just like, yeah, nope, we're going around that.
Yes, that is true. No one else hit that patch afterwards.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
saw that and said nope. I then took Sean's pick of Connor Daly, and he's starting 18th. Sean then took Castro Neves, starting 27th. Yeah,
Ooh.
but I think if there's one row to watch now, it'll be that row because it has Herta, Castro Neves, and McLaughlin.
Yeah, that's the road that someone's going to do something stupid off the start.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably heard him.
And lastly, I took Ray Hall. He is starting 21st. Not a good showing from him either. Sean, you had the bonus pick of Dalton Kellett starting 29th. Good job.
Still faster than Montoya, Lundgaard, Harvey.
Yeah. Congrats.
Listen,
And I gave myself a quick bonus here for this was joking that Dave Malukas would somehow win pole. He was the best of the rest, starting 13th.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Didn't see that one
There
coming.
you go.
No. So, what do you think will happen in the race? Not kind of who's going to win, but what do you expect to see happening? Do you expect it to be a very clean affair? Do you expect it to be a wreck fest?
This could be an interesting one just because there's so many rookies.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rookies and young guys, and there's also a lot of guys who are fast in the back.
Yep.
But from what we've seen over the years, they are so clean now at Indy.
Yep.
We've had one wreck the entire 2 weeks so far. Like all of last week, this weekend, we've seen one guy put it in the wall, and that was Dalton Kellett yesterday.
Yeah.
You're going to have one more day of practice, and then the race. I would be surprised if 6 cars don't finish the race, I would be shocked. So I imagine it will be a very clean race, because that's what we've come to see with these cars recently.
All going to be Andretti's that have engine failures.
Oh, that would be awful.
Ooh. I'm gonna say, just to be different, that there's gonna be one wreck, and it's gonna be a Ganassi. That's my prediction. That's my
Johnson
wild
to
prediction.
Bennett is not hard.
No, I'm predicting Dixon to Bennett.
That'd be surprising.
I mean, he did. What year was it? 2017, where he went over the back of Jay Howard.
Oh.
Yeah, it was. I think it was 2017. I mean, he was in a good position that race.
You just never know. Well, that's all I'm saying. You never know.
2 people to win the race.
I'm going to say, let's do our usual pick one from the top 12 and one from outside the top 12. Go.
Okay, I will pick one from the top 12, and it's one I'm still going to stick with. Rinus VK.
Okay.
Anyone else?
I'm going to pick Ericsson.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to write these down.
Yeah, it's fine.
Part of me says Jimmy because he looks quick. Part of me doesn't say Jimmy. I'm gonna go. No, what? Screw it. Let's go with Ed. Good old Ed.
Old Ed.
Why not?
Fair enough. From outside top 12?
Yep. I swear, if you say Dalton Kellett again, I'm gonna.
I was going to say Santino Ferrucci.
Oh, Sean.
What?
Yeah, no, it's not a bad pick.
Terrible call. Those cars have been fast.
Yeah.
I know. I just don't like. I don't like his hair.
The hair is the issue? Really? The hair?
Well, there's a lot, but like mostly the hair. Just from his picture, there's a lot obviously a lot of other stuff. However,
You don't like the ramen noodles?
no, it looks like a Brillo pad. Hi, Toof.
Okay, well, make your pick.
Oh, right, I had to pick. I'm gonna go with Calamilot. Why not?
Not a bad pick also, but I don't know if we're going to see a rookie win.
It would be very surprising.
It would be, but
And
who knows?
I'm gonna sweep the Ed Carpenters with Connor Daly. I'm sticking with them.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
These guys, I'm gonna double down on hometown. It's gonna go horribly. I apologize to both of you.
That's fair. Okay. Anything else to talk about? Do we want to talk about NASCAR? No? That was terrible? Yes. Okay, good job. Move on.
Just to give you an idea of how terrible it is, so Jeff Gluck does his post-race rankings. It got 11% of.
Oh my gosh.
People. Yes, we liked it. And hang on, sorry, just quickly because this was really funny to read earlier. Let me find it here. He took it. He went back into. So a lot of people were like, the 11% who are voting yes. Why? What are you voting yes on? Here are some of the explanations that Jeff decided to put up. I clicked yes because I thought it was pit and tire strategy. That made it interesting. And then the yellow flag on the last lap was ludicrous and ruined the entire race. First time I ever voted yes, only because of the winner, but I knew I was lying to myself when I did.
Just a quick recap of what happened in that there was a yellow flag called right as Blaney crossed the line.
Just stupid.
And he basically thought he had won, therefore put his window net down, and then was told, no, we're still going to race. He couldn't put it back up, so he had to like tie it half-assedly back on and then do the restart. And people were pissed off about that because it's like, okay, well, what does safety even mean then? And yeah, it was a disaster.
Yeah, it went as bad as it could for NASCAR. Last two responses here. I accidentally hit yes, please let the record reflect and do not blame me. And lastly, this is the best one. I was smoking weed, so that probably helped my enjoyment levels.
Yeah, it's fair. That's really fair.
So,
Texas is a terrible track. Nothing good is there. That track needs seriously to be redone.
Yep.
But yeah. Okay, before we go, one last prediction. Give me your Monaco winner.
Oh, God, not Charles.
Charles Leclerc.
I know you're going to go George, Sean.
I'm going George, yep.
That's good.
I will...
Just pick Max, you coward. Just pick Max, you coward.
No, I was going to go his teammate because the Cosmos say Sergio deserves a win after last week or
That's
after
fair.
Barcelona.
Okay.
That'd be good. That's fair.
Okay, so I go George. You say you say Perez.
Yep.
And
shocker, Taylor goes Charles.
yeah.
Yep.
They both Charles and Max have engine failures.
That would be nice.
Good.
Okay,
Great.
sounds good. Okay, and we're done. We'll be back next week. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to Spare Parts. Remember to follow the show on Twitter at sparepartspod and the hosts at Stephen Clary, at Sean Cavarella, and at Tate Moore.